Hey there, just came across this article that I thought was worth passing along, just something to make you think about what's really going on. Take a listen. Once upon a time, all of the major institutions in our society were running super smoothly, and most people could rely on the fact that they would always be there when they were needed. But now things are going haywire everywhere that you turn. We are in the midst of the worst supply chain crisis in our entire history. The crime and violence in our largest urban areas is starting to spiral out of control. Millions upon millions of our fellow citizens are absolutely seething with hate, and this pandemic is causing officials to make extremely irrational decisions that would have been unthinkable during normal times. To illustrate how crazy things are becoming, it's now common for people to be denied access to a local hospital. There's a story circulating that a husband and wife were just victims of this unthinkable act. The husband was taking his wife in for a very important reason, but there were people at the entrance that were checking the vaccination status of everyone that attempted to enter. He and his wife had not been vaccinated, and so they were turned away. That means that they will not be able to have access to any services at that hospital for the foreseeable future. Did you ever imagine that a day would come when you might not even be allowed to go inside your local hospital? In other cases, hospitals are not providing certain services any longer due to severe staffing shortages. In fact, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that some institutions may lose up to a third of their employees due to Biden's mandate for health care workers. That is madness, and I never imagined that we would see such a thing happen in America. But here we are. Moving forward, many Americans are going to have to start figuring out how to provide their own health care, because our health care system is being shaken like never before. Meanwhile, we are seeing a historic burst in entrepreneurship and self-employment as millions upon millions of Americans seek to create jobs for themselves. Thanks to Biden's mandates, there are millions upon millions of Americans that may soon be ineligible to work for any company that employs 100 or more workers. For now, that particular mandate has been put on hold, but it could be reinstated at any time by the courts. In any event, many Americans have decided that now is the time to leave the system and start working for themselves. So far this year, a whopping 4.54 million new small businesses have applied for a federal tax identification number. That is up 56% from 2019. I have always encouraged entrepreneurship as a way for people to become more independent from the system. The good news is that there are literally millions of different ways to work for yourself in this country today. If you are considering taking such a leap, focus on what you are good at. Personally, I would be an absolutely horrible auto mechanic, and if I tried to be a hairstylist, it would be a complete and utter disaster. But I can write, and so that is what I do. Others can't write, but they are incredibly talented in other areas. The key is to find something that will add value to the lives of others. The global energy crisis is another factor that is pushing people to become more independent of the system. This year, Pennsylvania residents are being warned that their energy bills could increase by approximately 50%. And as the global energy crisis escalates, we could see more painful energy shortages like we recently witnessed in China, India, and Lebanon. This has motivated a lot of Americans to take matters into their own hands, and at this point demand for wood-burning stoves is off the charts, and as the global energy crisis escalates, we could see more painful energy shortages like we recently witnessed in China, India, and Lebanon. This has motivated a lot of Americans to take matters into their own hands, and at this point demand for wood-burning stoves is off the charts. Needless to say, demand for firewood has also soared, and this is pushing prices into unprecedented territory. But those that prepared ahead of time don't need to pay through the nose, because they already have all the firewood that they need. For years, I have been pleading with people to make preparations in advance for the difficult times that were coming. Now those difficult times have started to arrive, and things are beginning to get really crazy out there. Even entire communities are trying to become more independent of the system. In California, the insanity coming from Sacramento just became too overwhelming, and so the entire city of Oroville decided to declare itself a constitutional republic. That is a pretty dramatic move, but the truth is that communities all over the nation are going to have to try to do what they can to insulate themselves from the authoritarian measures that are being instituted on the state and federal levels. If you live in a city or a state where things are particularly bad, you may need to pick up and move to an entirely different part of the country. I know that sounds extreme, but we live in extreme times. If you want a normal life, you will want to find a place where people are still determined to live relatively normal lives. Because as the system continues to collapse all around us, things are only going to get even crazier. Our country is literally starting to come apart at the seams, and a lot more change is on the way. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this audio article. Curious to hear your thoughts on this matter. Feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you enjoy this type of format here, definitely hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up. Looking forward to bringing more of these articles. Thanks.